Welcome back to the number one podcast in the world. I'm your host, Chase Demore.
And gabmoses.
And today, we got to address some things, some controversial things. I would say...
Are we just going to start with that right now? Or are we going to say, like, good morning, hello?
Good morning, America,
I don't know
and
what
the
time
rest of
you're
the
watching
world.
this at, but...
By the time you are watching this, I just want you to know, no, we're diving straight into it. Listen, the last episode that we shot of this caused one hell of an upkeep. Like, you guys...
Some people were a little bit angry.
There's been comments.
Chase,
you guys mad at me for? Yeah.
Because apparently you interrupt me a lot, Chase. That's what.
Just because you have three people that say
It's
interrupt
not
you.
just three people.
It's like the same guy on the different account.
No, it's not. No.
Listen.
Yeah. People like to hear me talk. Even though sometimes you get tired of me, they love to hear me talk.
Sometimes it's putting it lightly.
Hey, yeah, Chase isn't very much so of a talker. He's more like quality time, just being present.
Me being present says a lot because I could really easily be unpresent. As you guys know, I travel a lot. It's so easy for me.
He does.
To
We
be
appreciate you being here today, Chase.
You know, my time is valuable. What can I say?
Okay, well, yeah. We made some people a little bit angry in the last one. Not only with Chase interrupting, but also some stuff that I apparently said. We're not apologizing.
What do we say? We
apology.
standing on business.
No, but I do want to say one thing is the way sometimes people perceive certain things to be. You have to remember people only see 5 seconds of a clip on social media. That's not always how it is. Like, you shut off the camera. There's other things going on, like in life. And that reminds me of like even TikTok today, or like watching all these cute like YouTube couples here and there, or like people taking a video of a 10-second clip. People get mad at you all the time for that on TikTok. What? You post this or that.
Why am I catching strays? This works 5 seconds into the podcast. You point at me the whole time as if I'm just catching strays. Listen, I'm not lighting trash cans on fire. I'm not switching the name of my couple's channel on YouTube. I'm not talking about my exes here, even though I found out recently my ex went to my family's house and had dinner again yesterday.
That's weird.
But we're not talking about that.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
My girlfriend, who I never talk about, my ex-girlfriend, who I never speak about, apparently has been having great family powwows at my house without me knowing. And a lot of you guys might think, oh, that's completely fine and normal, which, you know, it's not, because like we broke up in 2020. It's now going to be 2024. It's almost been 4 years. We've been broken up longer than I've even known that girl almost. So
that's great. She also took your dog.
R.I.P. The greatest
she
dog
stole
ever.
Your dog.
She got away with one right there. He's got to be like 6 or 7 by now.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. She's like hanging with your fam.
She's hanging with the fam. I get a call from my cousin, and it's like, hey, guess who's at our house right now? And I'm sitting there going through a whole scenario of people that could rightfully be at my house. And he flips the camera, and mind you, I'm at SLS pool party in Miami with the boys, and he flips it around, and I see my mom and her sitting on the couch having a powwow. And I'm like,
you're like, this is a little bit weird. When do you stop going to an ex's house?
Right.
It's usually when you break up.
Exactly. It's not like they live remotely close. Like, she probably lives a good like hour drive away.
Wait, it's that long?
It's quite a bit. It's a bit of a journey. So it doesn't really make sense why. And the area that they live in is like a really small and like unheard of town. So a little bit
out of the way. You're not just like in the neighborhood to go get some coffee.
Right. And this is the same person who like respectfully, like you've seen me like message like, hey, I'm in town. I know we broke up 3 years ago, but I don't want to cause any issues, but hey, I'm with a couple of friends. Can I please see my dog and maybe go to a public park? I'm not trying to take him or anything, but I think it'd be cool. No response.
5 minutes with my dog.
Right.
Please.
No. Hey, like I'll give you $20,000. Can I have my dog back? No response. Like, hey, do you have like all of my like my passport, my birth certificate, any of the stuff all my college accolades? Oh, by the way, you lit all that stuff on fire. But no, it's completely acceptable for you to go and hang out at my family's house without my knowledge, which
that's crazy.
Is kind of weird.
The confidence I have to give it to
right.
her.
Right. Like,
it's like a mic drop.
Like, you're going to go hang out with my mom.
Forget about your existence, but be with your family for family brunch.
Like, I'm a
the
loss.
Balls.
But we're not talking about her anymore. I'm not giving this girl up. I'm not platforming her.
We have a lot of other things to talk about today. We haven't talked about the trip that we recently took to New York.
To New York.
And then to Puerto Rico. You've been making lots of purchases.
to Miami to purchase.
Lots of big things for you.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, I feel like there's times where you just want to have some like personal development, and a lot of people know, maybe a lot of people don't, but I actually don't spend a whole lot of money on myself. I think the majority of my spending actually goes to other people.
Traveling.
Yeah, but when I travel, I usually take a friend with me, and I'm usually just, I would say a majority of my money goes to like other people. I do a lot of cool things for like causes and stuff that I might not talk about all the time, but I've been saying for the last few years now that I wanted to get a motorcycle again.
Let me just roll my eyes 30 times.
Roll your eyes all you want, but listen. If it's in your blood, it's in your blood. I've actually had a motorcycle and a motorcycle license longer than I've had a car. All of my driving comes from my background in having a crotch rocket. And guys, I didn't get super extensive here in getting another crotch rocket. I got like an old man bike. I got a Harley Fat Boy.
I just don't like the name crotch rocket.
I don't have a crotch rocket anymore, right? I got like a Fat Boy old man bike. It's really chill. When you use it to ride to the gym, it's just like something to get that itch off my back. Get a couple custom parts for it. Go work on my bike. You know what I mean? Get outside, enjoy the LA sun. Like, these are things that I think are important in any person's life. You want to be an individual. You don't want to lose your individuality.
That's true.
I think that's super important. Like, if you are dating somebody, whether have a friendship with this person or you're married to this person or anything in between, I think it's important that you always remain an individual, because once you become codependent on one another, you stop having fun with the little stuff. Like she doesn't like motorcycles. I love motorcycles. She likes to light my house on fire baking. I necessarily wouldn't do that.
Listen, I just think of how a bug hits the windshield?
You use bug, but I'm using more like, she likes rubber ducks.
You know how a cockroach, whenever you smack it and hit it, and then it just squishes?
Can you pull out your keys right now? # rubber ducky gang.
You got me that duck.
Yeah, pull out the duck.
I don't have my keys with me. He got me a duck while he was traveling.
Exactly. Like I said, the majority of my funding when I'm traveling, I buy stuff for my friends. And when I was in Prague, I traveled a lot in Prague, and I was walking in the streets one day, and I walked past an entire store of rubber ducks, and I walked in there and I found a rubber duck that looked just like her with brown hair.
He got it for me,
and I was like,
it's in like the little outfit, like the cute little.
It spoke to me, and it's like mental things like that.
They're like, Gab, I'm getting this for you.
She's an individual, and I got a rubber duck.
That was so thoughtful. But what I was saying was more so like, when you smash a cockroach and it just like with a shoe. That's what I think of whenever I think of a person on a motorcycle with a semi-truck coming at them. Like, it's just not a very pleasant thought. So
look, me versus semi-truck. It's an unfair fight for the semi-truck.
Of course. But that also brings me to like thinking about, like any sort of relationship like you were talking about. If one person wants to do one thing and the other person's like, no way. Like, where do you draw the line?
I think like it's important to I think a lot of it is like, my dad used to tell me that sometimes being a good leader is about leading people to find the answer themselves. Like, I think it's a lot harder to be a follower than it is to be a leader. And I think that sometimes you got to help people get to the answer themselves. I do this a lot. And I think that where you draw the line is if you, for example, touch the hot stove all the time, I could tell you it's going to be really hot. Don't touch it. But that's where it becomes hard to be a follower and listen. I think you sometimes have to let them touch that hot stove. And I think that it's important to be an individual in a relationship. I think that you guys should have separate lives. And I think it helps when you come together, because now you have things to talk about. Versus if somebody's with you 25/8, in your face, you can't really talk about much.
No,
because they're not very entertained. 2, they're zoning out. They're checking their phones.
You hear the Charlie Brown wah 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 wah.
That's what it sounds like, because in their head, in any situation, I feel like you guys could experience the exact same day, but you're gonna have 2 different opinions on how
2 different perspectives.
2 perfect perspectives. A perfect example.
It was not English. 2 perfect.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's been a long day for Chase today.
Longest
we
day.
don't even want to get started on that.
Longest day, And I think it's important. I think, if you want to have a healthy, strong relationship with somebody, I think it's important. Let your girlfriend go to her Pilates classes. Let your boyfriend play his video games. That's just how it should be.
What about if your girlfriend says, I'm going to go to Miami?
Then that's not your girlfriend anymore. It's simple as that. No girlfriend of mine's going to Miami. Sorry.
Without you.
Yeah. You guys, it's a girls trip. That's all right. I'll be at the hotel when you get back from girls' night. Oh, I want to stay in the same hotel as your friends. Oh, perfect. Which hotel is it? I'll book it for us together. But I want to sleep in the same room as them. Which room is it? I'll book the one right next door.
Is that not controlling?
It's not controlling at all. It's just
Is that protective?
It's not. I'm just not a simp. I'm not Adam 22 out here. I'm not getting cucked. Like,
Not even if it's like, a fun girls trip.
you can go
Spot
have
it.
all the fun in the world you want to, but I'm gonna be within a 50-yard throw of that fun. I ain't even gotta be a part of the group or any of that. I just want to know at the end of the day, if I need to be there, I could get there within 5, 10, 15, even 20 minutes. I'm negotiable.
That's interesting perspective. You'd go to Miami though.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I just think there's a big difference. It's kind of like when you want to go to a club. We both go to the club, but who's getting into the club for free?
Me.
Exactly. I still got to pay to get in the club. But it's the same club, right?
I just see the comments now. You hypocrite.
I'll be a hypocrite.
People are gonna be.
I'll be a hypocrite because
I'm so excited for how mad this is gonna make so many people.
Somebody gonna try me in Miami. They're gonna get their butt whooped. They don't get an ass kicking in Miami. Somebody tries you in Miami, I'm gonna get a phone call, you crying, saying I just got my bag stolen.
You're gonna be like, oh, I got you that bag.
I paid for that bag. Like, what do you mean you got it stolen? What are you talking about? They stole my $5,000 bag that you carry around? Oh, heck no. Ain't no way. Ain't nobody going to Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's not gonna happen. We're just gonna be on a boat. Girls get boned on boats. You ain't going on no boat. What do you mean?
What if it's for a brand deal?
Yeah. You have a great time on that brand deal. I'll be on the shore watching with binoculars. Just
you
like
got like the extra big ones.
If you watch Two Out the Handle season 2 when Carly went on her day, I was
zoned in.
Making sure that day was uncomfortable as possible. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Well, I think you're right on something, which is the individuality.
Did you break up with your last boyfriend because you went to New York without him?
That was one of the reasons.
All right, exactly.
It was more so, listen, I'm not trying to cause any issues, but there's more to it too. I think little things like that, you just have to understand.
Why didn't he not go to New York with you?
Because it was literally my senior trip with my 3 best friends. It was a girls' trip.
So
We're seeing all the museums.
So why couldn't he go?
I want to do my own thing and be my own person. It's our girls' trip. We didn't even go to clubs or anything.
What did you guys do?
We went to every single museum possible. Every single one. We went to the Met.
So you couldn't take your boy to the museums?
Not if all my girlfriends are there. Personal spacing.
Why couldn't he be at the hotel?
Yeah, he really wants to stay in a hotel by himself for 8 days straight.
Well, he really wanted to go to a museum for 8 days straight?
Yes, it was girls' time. It was the last time that we all have been together on a long trip, you know?
You just went to the bachelor party of like all 5 of them within the last year.
Only one of them was there.
How many of them got married in the last year?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's another thing we could talk about. I'm from a small town, and not even small, 500,000 people in Missouri. All my friends are now engaged or married. I am the only one left in my apartment building my sophomore year, the only one that's not engaged or married or even has a possible suitor. Like, is that not crazy? He always makes fun of me because I'm always like, oh, I got another wedding invite.
I was like, yeah, you keep getting those. Always the wedding invite, never the wedding bearer.
Yeah, I'm always the bridesmaid.
The saddest story ever written.
It's like 27 dresses, but like with me in it. I wish I was kidding. How many do you think I've been to in the past like year?
I don't know. Every time I come back, I got a new wedding invitation on my fridge.
Yeah, I'm like surprised.
I've never seen them. Some just random white kids from Missouri. I've never seen them in my life. Just posting on my fridge. I'm waiting for my Aunt Brenda to call me up like, who are these white babies on your refrigerator? Auntie,
here's the thing, I'll just stick them there because I'm like, I don't know where to put them.
I ain't never seen these kids a day in my life, Auntie. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like this is different.
Are any of your friends married?
Well, I mean, I was talking to my best friend John from high school, and he was just telling me that he's been with his girlfriend for like 6 years now, and he's getting ready to pop the question. So,
he's getting down on his knees.
And pause.
I had one knee.
Ain't nobody getting down on their knees. All right, listen. All right, but he might be the first one in the friend group to get married, which respectfully we always.
And you're older than me too.
You're 23. Why would you even remotely entertain the idea of getting married?
I don't want to. I literally don't. I want to live my life and have fun. I mean, maybe it's different because they're all back home. And, like, I have the ability to travel, to be able to, like, do this and that. And I honestly think that's why I have a different mindset than them. But also my twin sister is like that too. She's like, oh, hell no. She's like, I never want to have kids.
Isn't your twin sister like in like an extensive long relationship?
2 years. But she says if she does not want to get married.
She says what? If he asks him to get married, she's gonna say no.
We don't want no. 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 No, I don't think she'd say no. I think there'd be a conversation.
Of what? Of her saying no? There's gonna be a conversation of her saying no. What's the conversation gonna pertain to?
We just have like very similar like mental states and views upon getting married at a young age. Because I don't know, maybe it's just because my parents waited until they were 30 to get married.
Your parents got married at 30? But didn't your dad have a first wife?
Yeah.
At what age?
Well, they got married because he got her pregnant.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, so then they got married. I love my brother though. So glad he ended up out of that.
Didn't he get married?
Yeah, he got married
Twice?
Twice, yeah.
And how old is he?
My dad? Well, when he got
Brother.
married the first... Oh, no, my brother's been married 3 times.
And how old is he?
33.
So if you...
He also has 3 kids.
how long are
many
these
sis-
marriages on average? Yeah. That track record's looking good. So dad's divorced, remarried. Brother's tried it 3 times. Sister don't want to get married. If you're watching this and you got intentions
Maybe
of...
that's why
She's
I
talking
don't-
about guys getting down on their knees. If that's what you're about, Moses,
Maybe that's why I don't want to get married.
like, comment, subscribe on her videos, not mine,
Listen,
because that ain't happening
I'm
around
all
here.
for it one day. Like, one day, come on. Any possible suitors watching this, like, hello, if you want to spoil me. But one day, I am just too young and I have so much life to live. And like you were saying with, like, the individuality, like, you got to live out your life.
You're married to my dog, Ghost.
I
Like,
am. Your
Jesus.
dogs, they're like my little babies.
Jesus.
I love those dogs.
These dogs cry when you walk out the door for 2 seconds.
You get
they start
mad.
jumping when I'm gone. They're like, this motherfucker
No,
gone.
Douglas ignored you the other day when we both walked in the door. He ignored you.
He's like, he's back.
Yeah, and he walks over and just avoids you. I'm
Mm.
like,
He thinks he's going to be in trouble. That's what it is. I do
Yeah.
owe him an ass kicking or 2.
that bulldog. If you don't know, guys, anyone who's listening, Chase has 2 dogs. One is named Ghost. She's a husky.
I'm sure everybody listening right now knows
about your dogs.
Douglas, at least.
The most hard-headed dog in the entire world.
He just never learns.
He also, I don't think there's much going on in his brain. Like, if he might have some issues, like,
A
up
lot of
there,
issues.
where his
Dog has a
brain is
lot of
supposed to
issues.
be. But he's the most cuddly dog there is. And I just get my little cuddles from him.
Anyways, let's talk about some of these comments from the last podcast video. So,
Should I pull him up?
yeah, go ahead and pull those comments up. We're going to go right into it.
I don't think he listened to the whole, like, YouTube, like the whole podcast. Because I was not bashing anyone. I was just, saying things as they were.
I was the one doing the bashing. You were trying to defend him. And I was like, why are you defending your ex? It's crazy.
Yeah, because I think everything is in the past for a reason. And if you're going to break up with someone, why talk crap about them all the time?
Well, one of the comments, he was talking crap to you.
He was shading me hard,
He was
which
shading
I
me.
can take it. I don't care if you feel the need to talk about him. If it makes you feel better, if it makes you sleep at night, honestly, go for it. If it helps your ego, like, that's not saying come at me with everything you got, but it's like, I'm not going to let what someone says at the end of the day get into my head because I know who they are as a person. I know that they're a nice person, that they're genuine. Like, everything ends for a reason. If you're not meant to be with that person, why drag it out? Like, that's all I'm saying. But anyways, this is what, I know I got the hand signals going. I'd honestly rather hear Gab talk by herself. Chase is just so obnoxious.
I thought we were talking about the ex, but why are we?
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was just the first one that I read.
Well, I've been catching strays. Like, listen, I'm just the host. I'm just the one leading the podcast here. Like, it's y'all
I
world. I'm
know.
just living in it.
This one's another one. Gab, you said you loved him in your videos and you were with him.
You did say you loved him.
No, I didn't. That is one thing I said in the podcast.
You had a couples channel with him.
I'm talking about number 2, not number 1.
Okay, even number 2, you had a whole relationship online with a guy that you made public to everybody.
And I cared about
you
him.
did say I love you.
I never said that.
There
word.
was.
I
I will
never
pull up the
said
clip.
that. Please
Play
do.
the clip.
He told me he loved me, and I didn't say it back. I never once said it back, and he would continue. He would say it over and over and over again. That was one of, not like a running joke or anything.
A running joke is saying I love you.
I never said
I'm
it
the obnoxious
once.
one, chat.
I never said the L word once because I knew if I ever said that to anyone, I would actually mean it. And he would say it to me. I never said it back. And that is one thing even my roommates would say. like you never said it back.
And
'cause
what
they
would
be
you say?
around.
What would he say?
What I would say was, and I really appreciate that, and I care about you a lot. I would never say it back.
I
And
really
even my
appreciate that. And I
roommates,
care about you a lot.
No.
That's wild.
and all my roommates would be like, Gab, like what? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say it to someone unless I genuinely mean it. I never said it because I was not ready because I was out of a relationship.
And what would he say when you did not say this back?
Just smile and give me a hug. He was a really nice person.
Sounds like it because he can't even comment when somebody says you should box him over him. And what did he say?
Wait, let me find the
Nothing worth
boxing.
boxing him for.
Yes,
Ooh.
wait, let's see if I can find
Oof.
this.
He said
boxing
you are
comment.
not worth the box over. That is, oof. Not
That
even
was
my
a
ex has
lot.
said anything like that.
Yeah.
And she's crazy.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. People deal with things in different ways.
He said you're not even
There's
worth
so
boxing.
many comments about this.
Didn't his sister comment on it too?
Yeah. His sister was commenting a lot on it, which, like, whatever.
What does she have to say?
I think just like crying laughing emojis. Or like, oh, none of you know the real story. Guys, here's the thing. Drake said it perfectly in his song. There's 3 versions of a story.
I say that all the time. There's yours, his, and what really happened.
Exactly. So, like, I don't know. Don't get all worked up about different things.
She just got a platform, so she just gets to play one-sided. Luke, don't worry, bro. I'm vouching for you. I tell her all the time, I know there's a lot more than what she even tells me about that story. So don't worry, bro. I got you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to. Oh, here's the Chase should box Luke, and then Luke goes, nothing to box over.
Yes.
And then someone just.
We're gonna go
burns it.
screenshot that. We're gonna clip that right here.
And then someone goes, the leg sleep was a terrible idea. Someone comes at him. Guys, leave him alone.
Why do you keep throwing strays at me? Like the leg sleep was fire.
No. They're talking about Luke. They're like, oh, I guess he got a leg sleeve or something.
Oh, did he?
They're making fun of his dad
Damn,
too.
he's catching
Damn,
strays.
don't come at him, guys. Jeez. Oh, then there's someone coming at me. Gabby. Guys, don't call me Gabby. This is one way to get under my skin. Gabby, you need to stop putting on a front. Just because Chase is asking a question, you don't sound like yourself. You're saying stuff just because you think it makes you look cool and sound more interesting, and it just doesn't. That guy brings up the worst in you. Stop talking like this.
Why am I catching these strays?
No,
just
they're
'cause
coming for me.
That whole comment was just literally people saying, stop hanging out with Chase. He's a bad influence. Guys, I am the most positive influence out there because one of 2 things is going to happen. One, I am never going to lie and say something that's not true. You guys might not like the way I say things, but the things I say make sense. And 2, if we lived in cupcake make-believe land all the time, nothing's getting done. This podcast, you guys are welcome.
I can't wait to read the comments on this podcast now.
Hey, just know every one of those comments, every negative comment's going to get a heart from me and a giant middle finger mentally. So I don't care.
Okay, how do you deal with comments? Because you get more.
I don't read them. I have never sat there and read a comment section. And like this is to a T because I remember one time we were driving after one of these podcasts and you were in the back just crying up a storm, like sobbing.
It was on one of my YouTube videos, guys.
And I had to pull over and I waited. And I was like, what is going on? You didn't want to address.
You walked into Costco by yourself because I was crying.
Yeah, I was like, what are you crying over? And she comes out and she's like, the mean comments. I was like, you have no mean comments. You're crying over the comments that people saying about me. And I'm sitting there going like.
No, it was literally everyone telling me like how mean Chase is to me and like how much I've changed and how I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, blame me.
I'm like, no crap, guys. Well, first of all, I'm not 16. And I think the issue is so many people like picture me still at high school, 16 years old. And they're like, why isn't she like the exact same with that? Like, guys,
16-year-old high school girl.
So many people, like things have changed. Like I went to college, I grew up, I graduated. Like I'm not going to act the same. I'm more mature now. I'm not going to lie, even though it might not seem like it sometimes. I am more mature. I've lived life. I've gone through things. Not everything is on camera. Like I do act different, 110%. If you met me when I was 16 years old, if you met me in real life, you'd say, oh my gosh, you're not the same person. I was quiet. I didn't talk to anyone. I was like, I didn't believe in myself then. And now today, I will talk. Sometimes I say stupid stuff like, who cares? But yes, I have changed. And yes, sometimes I do have an issue with reading like mean, negative comments. But at the end of the day, like that's someone typing on their little computer that feel the need to just talk crap, you know?
It's not like anything that you're doing is like necessarily bad. I feel like right now there's a lot worse people out there. Like Neon's girlfriend, Sam, she's like
I don't know anything what
She's
happened.
just basically like I'm friends with her. She's a super nice girl, but recently I saw a clip of her like advocating like cheating on Neon, who's kind of like boosting her career just for clicks and
Oh,
views. I think it's just kind of like a little bit disrespectful, and I'm glad like you would never do anything to salvage or like to sacrifice.
yeah, like
Uh,
putting myself up.
yeah, like you never sacrifice yourself for the betterment of clicks and views, which I think can be very toxic, especially in like dating.
And there's so many times, guys, I wish, like, I'm not even gonna get into it, but there's so many times, like, I could have said so many more things for clicks and views if I really wanted to. But I think, too, the thing is with that is your personal life is one thing and social media and everything. Like, what do you want to be known for? Yes, you might get some negative comments. Yes, they might get in your head a little bit. They get in my head all the time. My mom doesn't even watch my YouTube videos or no, she watches all of them, but she can't watch any of the comments or even on TikTok because my mom has called me crying multiple times. Maybe it just runs in the family. Maybe sometimes we're just sensitive. But I mean, I see hate comments. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: is like I'm not just social media. I can feel the hate towards social media because social media is a derived audience specifically for you. I have fortunately been on Netflix a few times where I have an audience of people from around the world. So I have people that don't even speak the same language that are talking shit to me in Czech, talking shit to me in German.
Different languages.
It's like here,
They're coming at you.
I got a one universal language. It's called D&D, like do not disturb, because I'm not reading none of that like ever. Like if it's not a nice comment, it's probably getting filtered from my mods, getting filtered through my Instagram filters, getting like I don't
I
see
don't
none of that.
filter anything too. I think that's my other
Well, I
issue.
don't go digging for something I don't want to find either.
Yeah. I mean, and being a guy too, I feel like you're a little bit more thick-skinned than I am.
But like, here's the thing: is like, here's what you're gonna get from me. It's like you could hate me all you want, but I'm always gonna give you an honest take on things.
And sometimes I don't want to hear it.
You might not always want to hear it, but here's the thing: if you've watched me on any dating show, in Too Hot to Handle, I dated a girl, Carly. Me and Carly are very close to this day.
Mhm.
Just because our relationship didn't work out, because I knew it wasn't gonna work out then, and it might have pissed off the entire world, saying why couldn't it work? I'm sorry, guys. It's not your guys' choice of who I get to date and who I want to be with. I knew it wasn't going to work internally. I'm not going to force something that doesn't work. Just like in Perfect Match, when I was in the finale and everybody in that moment, nobody wanted to side with me. I stood on business by myself and I said, that is the fakest relationship I've ever seen. And they're doing it for clicks and views. I was speaking from the comment section. All you guys that type and are saying things and advocating it on Perfect Match and screaming at the TV saying, no, girl, get away from him. I was the guy on the TV screen saying that. I was being the voice of the voiceless, and everybody thought I was being a hater and canceled. And boom, what happened like 3 months after the show came out? Bam, cheating scandal.
Yikes. You're going there.
Bam.
It was
with
all
this person. Bam, it's not working out with her anymore. Like, shocker, guys. And I never spoke about it. And everybody was like making these videos saying,
when's Chase gonna speak?
yeah, like Chase was right the whole time. This and that. It's like, I knew I was right when I said it in the moment. And then nobody wanted to side with me because they're like, well, this just looks right in the moment. Let me tell you guys, it's fake land. It's fake land. Like, I hate to break it to you, but I'm always going to give you the driest cut of dating. You guys want honest dating advice? Stop going to clubs and finding girls. Stop going to clubs and finding guys. You want
Go
to find
to the library.
Don't go to the library. If you want to find a quality guy, like find something that you enjoy doing and go find somebody there. If you like going to the gym, there's so many beautiful men and women at the gym. If you're a guy, look, I'm gonna give you free dating advice right now. Don't spend all your money on alcohol and clubbing. Take your ass to like a nail salon and get clear coat and your nails all cleaned up and done nice. Because two things are gonna happen. One, you're gonna find girls there that are bettering themselves, that aren't drunk, and you could have a sophisticated conversation with. And two, you are gonna be looking better version of yourself because now your nails aren't grimy and dirty and they're clean now. That's free game.
Have you seen the TikTok about the guy talking about if you want to get a girl who does Pilates, because it's always the girls who do Pilates that are like the best girls. They won't cheat. They won't do anything crazy. Go to Pilates, guys.
She's been advocating this Pilates. She's been on
Pilates.
She's been on Pilates doing Pilates till she can't walk anymore.
No, guys, it's way harder than you think. It gets the little muscles. I think it would be so funny to see you do Pilates class. I would never make you do that, but...
As if I don't work out enough in the day.
Yeah, do Pilates. Come on.
Well, let me tell you about my schedule. Wake up, hour of cardio, drive an
Grumpy.
hour, do another 2 hours of boxing,
Grumpy.
plus another 30 minutes of cardio, drive home, stretch. I usually walk on my standing treadmill another hour. You got to throw weights in there every once in a while, even though I'm not the biggest weightlifter. I work out probably 4 out of the 12 hours I'm awake. So, I mean, that's a good third of my day is dedicated to training. So,
Yeah, you do that in like game.
yeah, like I do game a lot, but like still, and I do editing and I make
Yeah,
videos.
you do a lot of
And
stuff.
now I have back in, like, the actor strike is up. You guys know I'm an actor. I'm in acting classes again. I'm practicing my second language. I'm doing auditions. I have auditions for a lot of movies and TV shows that you guys are all gonna enjoy me in because like now you have a realistic expectation of what you're gonna get out of me on reality TV. Now we're gonna transition it into improv.
Do you want to know what's so sad about all that? I actually I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day. I was like, Chase is always doing all this stuff, and he says he's doing this and that. I feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm like, I'm not doing enough now.
No, it's not even that. It's like I have an unhealthy addiction to doing too much stuff to the point where one of my biggest problems is like I can't
So you
even
can't-
enjoy a moment. It's a
Yeah,
curse.
you literally can't. I'm like, dude, can you chill for a second and just like be here? Can we just like eat some food? And can you not be thinking of that checklist in your head?
Yeah,
Like-
it's not fun to hang out all the time because you're always trying to do stuff. And I think like the majority of people do a lot. In my head, I always felt like I needed to overachieve because I grew up in a really, really rough area. I grew up really hard where like, like I have an older brother. I have an older brother that we don't talk about because he's done things that are unholy, like unquestionable. I have a younger brother we don't talk about because he's done things that are unholy. I have an extensive family that's done things that aren't the proudest. And we don't talk about those because I'm so scared and worried about ending up like them that I feel like I have to do these things. And it's worked out for me, 26 years old, and I have done a lot of things. But like at the end of the day, like there's a very, very fine line where I could have fell on the other side of the fence very easily, and we wouldn't be sitting here, and there wouldn't be the hate comments, and there wouldn't be a Gab and Chase, and there wouldn't be an unscripted podcast. There would be a 25-year sentence in front of me in an orange jumpsuit. That's what it would be. You know what I mean? Real shit right there. It wouldn't be
true.
cockroach making millions of people laugh. There'd be no giving Georgia Hazarati a rock on a dating show. There would be no winning
memorable
All-Star
moments.
Shore and then having a kid lie to you the entire time. So you carried him through the entire show, won $150 and then gave it to him just to find out that he lied about his dad.
You mean
disowning
$150,000?
$150,000.
Let's clear that up. You lost $150,000 because you fell for a sob story that was fake.
To be fair, like I talk about, like I had a rough bringing. I didn't have like a whole father figure in my life and this and that. And I had a guy on the show. I don't know if you guys have seen the show, All-Star Shore Season 2, MTV, Paramount Plus. I was basically winning the show the entire time. And it got to the point where we got repartnered. I partnered with this guy who gave me this whole sob story about how his dad disowned him and he didn't have a family and he wasn't getting paid to be on reality TV. And he was trying to make a name for himself. And I have a soft spot for that. As you know, I have a big heart. And I was winning all these challenges and we got to the end. And there was an option to play rock, paper, scissors for $150,000. And I told him what I was going to pick so he could win and have the money and go back, take care of his family and this and that. And at the time, he was like, oh, like, we'll just split the $150,000. I was like, all right, cool, we'll just split it, whatever. If I'm going to win it anyways, I was going to split it with him. It turns out after I gave him the win, as you guys saw in the finale, I basically gave him the win. I stuck to my word and played an honest game. He lied. He stole the money. And then the next day he came and he said he lied about everything because he felt that he was not going to be able to win the show without me. So he basically used me, took $150,000, and we haven't spoken since. So.
And that is why you're not that nice sometimes.
Exactly. And that's why I played the bad guy. That's why I will forever and always on reality
whenever
TV
you
be the
told
villain.
me that happened, I was like, Chase, you're too nice. And there's been so many different times where I am the mean one. And I'm the one who's like, your friend, like, this is people taking advantage of you.
I'm mean on camera. Like, that's where I'm mean.
Apparently, I'm.
Moses, man, don't ever be in a group chat with her and anything with business because it's like mostly like they could send you gold and she's like, it's not really platinum, so I don't want it.
Well, I just know the visions that I have and I know what the goal. I had the tendency of being really, really picky with some little things. And I'm annoying. I will 100% say I'm annoying. But I know,
Very
like,
annoying.
I know the goal.
I get to the point where like I'm like deleting me out of these group chats because like she's annoying and it's annoying me. So I can only imagine how it's annoying other people. And she goes, I know I'm annoying. And I'm like,
I'm like, I'm just trying to get something done.
keep
But
me
like,
annoying.
Chase has the tendency of letting these people into his life that take advantage of him.
It's not even that. It's like I choose to see the good in people all the time. And I have like a philosophy that if I believe in somebody, like I don't typically really give up on them. I always try to get them to where I'm at or even better because like I genuinely enjoy seeing my friends win in all aspects of life. It brings joy to me. Like I say it all the time. I'd rather be in a room of people that are far more successful than me be the most famous person in the room. I will not go to an event if I'm the most famous person in the room. I would
Yeah, no,
refuse
I've heard
to.
you say that multiple times. But here's my thing. Like, I take care of my friends. I do nice things too. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I think you have too giving of a heart, and then you get robbed of 150K on a reality TV show because someone that you don't really know told you a sob story
More
that
than
was all fake.
150K if you think about it. I have the 80K that my last manager stole from me.
Yeah, we don't ever talk. Do you want to talk about that? Are you
Yeah, we can
comfortable
talk
talking
about
about
that.
it?
Yeah. So basically, we've been having this ongoing lawsuit. I was signed with this guy named Chris Barris, who I met at a boxing
Blast
match.
his name.
Blasted. Chris Barris, you guys can find him on all socials. He blocks me on everything. But basically, I had this guy who came to me. He said he worked with Adidas. He lied about all of the stuff that he was doing. I ended up taking my current manager and one of my close friends, Nikki, with me to go meet with him. Nikki and my other friend Daniel, who's been on the podcast before, all had a bad feeling about this guy. And I was like, no, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Well, basically, when I was on the TV show, you don't have your phone when you do reality TV. And I found out through the production that he had called and switched my payment details on my contract to have all the payments go to him instead of me. And I thought it was a little bit weird. And so he just basically calls me up and says it's like standard protocol for managements, which, seemed to make sense at the time. But, after I got off the show, I did a brand deal for World of Warcraft, one of my favorite video games, childhood dream come true. They paid me X amount of dollars to do that too. After I completed, that and the TV show, the payment was $80,000. It was actually 95,000, but I got 15 of it, thankfully, like a year later. But $80,000, and so I reached out to him like, "Hey, where's this money?" He sent me two separate checks, one for like 10,000 and one for 17,000, both of which deposited. And then I saw that he had issued a stop payment on them, so they got canceled almost immediately. He ended up leaving the country. I see him post on socials all the time at restaurants, on jets, and all this from my spam accounts. I'm sure he's scamming millions of kids out there right now without them even knowing it. So I got connected with a really good lawyer out here, and we've been having like an ongoing investigation, waiting for him basically to come back so we can issue him suing papers because. Yeah, I'm sure he's out there scamming. He works with kids,
Kids,
mostly soccer
literally
players
such young
like
soccer
15,
players.
16-year-olds, and they have no idea what they're doing with this guy. And he's out there spending all of their money, claiming to be a manager, being a
Living a
sports agent,
luxurious life.
luxurious life
Brand name Louis Vuitton, this and that.
with kids' money and my money and everybody's money. And it's just very sad and sickening to see that this guy like lied about everything, blocked me on all socials, left the country to go live in like Germany or something like that. And him and his sister basically are just scamming kids out of millions of dollars. His name's Chris Barris.
Don't work with him if you know anyone in the UK.
Yeah, I think his sports management agency was like Evalon or Evalon
yeah.
Sports or something like that. So if you guys see him on any socials or see him post anything, make sure you guys are warning all these kids that
He
he's signing
made,
with.
do you want to know one of the biggest red flags?
Hold on, before you get there. Also, I work with Adidas now that I'm signed with them. I love Adidas. Everybody at the Adidas team, Adidas Boxing, they said that he also lied about working with Adidas. He was never a part of it. They have to constantly remind people that he is telling people that he works for Adidas when he doesn't. So
yeah, one thing that I thought was crazy. This is where after he stole all the money, I was like digging into him. I am a CIA, FBI agent. Actually, found his location one time. He's a sandwich shop. He posted it, had the logo in the background, and I found exactly what city and country he was hiding in. Anyways, I figured that out. But also, I was looking at some other stuff on his account. He made fake fan pages of his own like self and comments on his own pictures.
this guy's
and then
like
post screenshots of these fake fan pages on his Instagram story.
he's actually like a real life weirdo. Like it's actually really sickening to see because like for me, like I wasn't even like super pressed about the money at all like that. I think in my initial like document when you sue somebody, you have to basically tell them like do this or we're gonna sue you. I think like I gave it to him. I was like, bro, just pay me the money that I earned. Like you can keep your commission of it, like your 20% of it. Just give me the money that like is for me and that I earned, and we'll call it good. And after he was issued the suing, the address that he had for his company was not a real address. So when they sent the suing documents out to him, it bounced back from the fake address. But luckily, I still had their emails and their phone numbers, so I got the email and texted to them directly, and I can see on WhatsApp when they send it. But because I opened WhatsApp, I also went back and noticed that he deleted a lot of like the conversations on there. In fact, to the point where like one of them was a contract for one of the deals that I did that he went on a PowerPoint document, changed the price of what it was on the contract, tried to lie on the WhatsApp thing. But when he emailed me the fake contract, he actually CC'd the original people in. So I went directly back to them to ask what the original payment was. And mind you, I'll just tell you guys, it was for $25,000. He told me it was for $15,000. So he was basically trying to pocket 10% or pocket $10,000 plus 20% of the 15K. So like close to like 12
Almost
grand,
half.
almost half of like what I was getting paid. And after like I presented that to him with like a potential lawsuit, is when he decided to block me on everything and go ghost and delete the WhatsApp text messages. But I was smart and I foresaw that. So I actually screenshotted and screen recorded every bit of that. So there was no ducking it anymore. So
It's crazy too. If you guys are just watching and curious, like, why don't you just press charges? I've had money stolen from me too before. You can't. There's not like a law. There's like so many loopholes that don't protect content creators. Like legally, there's so many wormholes. It's actually scary that there's
yeah,
not
but
like,
we could sue him for a lot of different reasons because he
yeah.
did like he forged my signature,
It was the
changed the
boxing stuff
contract.
though.
He pretended to be a boxing agent, which is also very illegal. And he also left the country with US funds that he had registered in money. There's like a lot of different things that we could sue him with. The moral of the story is if you guys are watching this, make sure you don't let this guy Chris Barris do this to anybody else. Because like for me, like it's okay, like it's not okay, but like for me, like I'm not gonna like lose a meal or
Yeah.
anything over it. But think about like the 15, 16-year-olds that he's doing this to that have no idea like what they're getting roped into, have these ideas of changing their life for their moms and stuff like that. And this guy's just like running scot-free. Like it's
Literally
sickening.
posting about how, oh, I just bought this Louis Vuitton
Yeah, just
sweater.
ripping off kids and bragging to girls about money that's not his is absolutely obscene. He's like a real life like
But he
Wolf of
was
Wall
so
Street scam.
manipulative. Like he made you believe everything he
Yeah,
said.
he's
Like when you're
manipulative.
meeting with him, like you're like, oh, I believe
And
in
then like
this. I can do this.
when he got caught, he was like, "Well, I'll sue you for defamation." I'm like, buddy, you can't sue somebody for defamation
when it
because
happened.
like you are actually doing this.
Yeah, you're like, I have receipts.
Like I have every screenshot, every receipt, every conversation, every email. You can't like it's all directly from you. You're
Even
robbing people blind.
even the people at the companies, like at Paramount, at World of War, Blizzard,
Yeah.
they're like, wait, what? They're
Yeah.
like, no, we have proof too. We did pay him.
Yeah, like he was lying about when the payments were coming in. Like he lied about everything. And like here's the thing is like Paramount will never work with him again because we informed them. World of Warcraft, Blizzard Entertainment, like they'll never work with him again. Adidas doesn't like him at all. Like and like it screws over the kids that he's signing in the managements over there because a lot of them play soccer and football. And like the main shoemaking company for these is Adidas. So it's actually wild.
It's crazy. Everyone is like,
So be wary of who you guys are signing with.
yeah. Wow, that just went through a rabbit hole.
Well, it's like a lot to catch up people on. It's like, so you kind of like sit on it because in his head, he's sitting over there. He's like, yeah,
I got away.
It's almost been a year, but it's like, we haven't forgot, bro.
If he ever comes back to the United States.
Just know they're going to seize your passport and he's going to be under arrest from the federal government for stealing funds.
Years.
It's not a couple $100, bro. You stole $80,000 and left the country. Like, you're going to prison, buddy. Like,
as he should. But let's talk about something a little bit more happy.
Yeah, let's talk about lighter.
Talk about what?
Let's talk about something lighter.
Oh, I was like, there is a lighter we need to talk. What? Anyways, we were talking about earlier traveling. We've traveled together before, but in a relationship, traveling can be kind of make or break.
Not even just in relationships. I feel like in
friendships. Yeah, you always hear about like the girls finally going on that trip they always planned, and
now
then
they're not the girls
and
anymore.
They're never the girls, or even guys' trips too. Like you've had issues traveling with your guy friends.
Oh, 100%.
Like that is something. Like if you're traveling with anyone under the sun, like it will tell you if you guys are actually friends. If you're like meant to be in anything together, like it is make or break. I've messed up though too on different trips and stuff, even this past trip.
What happened?
I do not remember what I did.
Oh, well, way to
There
narrow it
was
down.
2 things I did on this past trip when we went to New York and then also to Puerto Rico.
Way to narrow it down. What'd you do?
I love that you don't remember because
No, I remember. I remember.
you're gonna get really mad. Okay,
I can tell you. I can tell you right off the rip. Like the very first, we weren't even there 5 minutes. I can tell you.
okay,
Go ahead. Tell them.
So we got in early to
Very
New York.
early, like 7 in the morning early.
It was 8 in the morning. At 9:30 in the morning, we were at the hotel, like checking into our rooms.
No,
They
weren't
weren't
checking
ready.
in. Yeah.
They weren't ready at all. So we took a red eye from California to New York. So like not the best sleep. We both wanted, take a nap, whatever, get recharged, so then we could have a nice day. Well, we didn't have a room to go
Well,
to.
because then I go, you don't think that they were going to be able to get in the hotel, do you? She goes, yeah, well, we have early check-in. I was like, well, I'm assuming at this point you would call and see if we have early
Because the
check-in.
credit card, so I booked it through my credit card company.
And she never calls to check on things.
They told me, they're like, oh yeah, you got
She
early
just looks
check-in.
online and she like assumes like that's what it's supposed to be, knowing like a person probably hasn't looked at this in 20 years. And so she goes, yeah, I looked online and said you can get an early check-in. I was like,
No,
so you
I
didn't
called
bother
through the
calling
phone.
to like check?
No, because I booked through the concierge of the credit card company. And they're like, yeah, you get early check-in.
Mind you,
free
okay, let's just
breakfast.
skip to it. We didn't get early check-in. Why don't you tell them when they said we could check in at?
3 p.m.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning and we haven't slept. And she said we could
And
check
so
in.
we end up walking hotel to hotel. Hey, do you guys have a room
Sold
available
out New York
right
Times
now?
Square.
Every single room was sold out. And I just so happened, I call back the hotel we're staying in. And I go,
No. One room wasn't sold out and it was going to be $1,000
yeah.
just to sleep there for 5 hours.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, probably not. So I call back the hotel and I'm at this point begging them. I'm like, please, can we change the rooms? Like, can we please, like I'll pay extra. Like, we just really want to take a nap.
I haven't slept.
Yeah, he was just so cranky.
I'm a
He was like,
grouch.
this is going to ruin the whole trip. And I'm like,
I didn't say it's
no.
gonna ruin the whole trip, but it's just like, imagine like we've been up, like we had a long day because you had to fly to New York. We have to get everything done. We slept 2 hours on an airplane. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, I'm assuming you would call and see if they had a room waiting for us when we got there so we could at least sleep.
Okay.
And then she goes, well, I'd never called. They just said early check-in. And you can imagine like my frustration at this point when I'm sitting outside in New York City when it's 2 degrees outside in Celsius. So that's like 34 Fahrenheit, frozen outside, and we don't have a place to sleep. We have all these bags with us and no place to go.
No,
because,
they took our bags.
Okay, they took our bags. We're still freezing outside with no place to go because it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
You were literally like the cartoon, like in Tom and Jerry with the flames going out of your head. That's
and
what you
I'm
were
just like, well, for me, like I probably would have checked to see like if we could stay there. And then if we couldn't stay there, I would have got a really, really cheap hotel room like near the airport that probably would have been open. So at least we could go there, sleep for a little bit, and then go to the hotel.
I will never make that mistake ever
But
again.
it gets frustrated because it's like, it's not the first time she's done this. And it's just like, I could sit there and just be mad about it for like hours and hours.
You were.
But like at that point, I was so like numb because I was like, this just makes sense at this point.
Then there was something else I did too. This one wasn't as big of a deal. We were like booking things to do because we also went to Puerto Rico afterwards. And I was like, oh, what's something fun we could do? Chase sends me a TikTok of, oh, you can go to Bacardi factory down in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, and you can learn to make
and you could do a mixology class. And so I'm like, bet. I go on there, book those tickets. I'm like, we have this at 4 p.m. We got to leave this
got
meeting
rushed
early.
out of, like, I'm the one there looking at houses to buy.
Yeah,
me, like, I am having to fork over the bread.
Yeah, so I was like, listen, we got to go right now.
Rushes me out.
I'm so excited for this. I'm like, okay, let's go.
And I hate being rushed.
He hates it. He'll be slow on purpose just to make me mad. Anyways, so we get to the Bacardi factory. We're there at check-in. I have my tickets ready. I'm like, here you go. We're ready. And I'm like all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready for my mixology class. Ma'am, this is for December 12th. The next week.
And I'm just sitting there. I don't even think I was mad at that point. I was just sitting there.
You were just laughing. You're like, of course.
I was like, so I got rushed out and you booked this a week ahead of where we're at. And so we're at this Bacardi factory. And then the lady goes, well, you can come back tomorrow, but it's not the same mixology class. It's like a tour of the thing. It's the same price.
Because the mixology class isn't even available this week.
Yeah, and so she looks at me. She goes, well, what should we do? And I was like, this was your event that you planned. Why are you asking me?
It was $180 too. Like, it was not cheap.
Yeah, I was like, you want to do that? And then you get, well, I don't really want to do it. As she's telling me, it's the lady standing right there. I was like, so you're telling me because you want me to turn and tell the lady? She can hear you. Like, you tell her. You don't want to be the bad guy? Yeah, sorry, she doesn't want to go. Do you want me to tell you in Spanish
and then
too?
they tell me, they're like, oh, well, we can't cancel it right here. You have to call customer service. I'm like, what? So I'm on the phone for like 15 minutes trying to cancel this while we're here at this like entrance to this freaking factory that you can't even get into the entrance unless you have the ticket. And so we're just sitting there. They won't even give us the complimentary drink that you get for booking the tickets. We ended up paying $30 just to get 2 little drinks because we were so bad. Or I was so mad.
She ended up buying the drinks, but like fast forward, like throughout the night, it turned out to be a good trip because then we went to this rooftop bar and they had like basically a challenge. You could get a jumbo mule. I posted on my story. It's probably like this big. They put a whole bottle of vodka inside of it, and the lady goes, "It's for 5 people. Like, there's no way you could drink this." And like, you know me, I instantly was like, "Oh, all right, you want to bet? Let's make it a challenge." So she brought it, and it wasn't even me that drank it all. This one probably drank.
We didn't even finish it though.
It was basically gone. Like it had.
There was like a third left, I would say.
There was a fourth left, maybe.
You think?
We drank 3/4 of it. There was probably like this much left. Maybe like 4 more drinks could have been, like 2 each.
Think?
Easily.
No.
Easily. Because you were so sick.
We were there for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We started as the only people at the rooftop, and by the time we left, it was like...
There may or may not have been more people there, but we drank a whole bottle of vodka amongst us. So, like, I don't even know at this point.
But both of us were like, we didn't even get that, like,
we weren't even that lit. And then after that, we went to a restaurant. We ate some food.
We got steak. Oh, no, we didn't. We got the rice. And I ate a salad. Guys, let me tell you, the next
You're convinced
morning,
it was the salad.
It was the salad.
I'm convinced it was the Moscow.
I got so sick. No, I called my mom, guys, from the bathroom the next day. I was like, Mom, I'm dying. Like, I've never been in this much pain. I woke up at 3 a.m., worst stomach pains of my entire life. Throughout the day, I was contemplating whether or not I was going to have to drive myself to the ER because I was in pain. And my mom's like, well, what did you eat yesterday? Because Chase wasn't sick. It was only me. And I go, well, the only thing I ate that he didn't was lettuce. I got food poisoning from lettuce. Like, I'm 110% convinced. Because even we were still touring houses and stuff the next day. I had to pretend like I was okay. At one point, we were on a golf cart on this little tour thing. I made everyone stop, and I was like, I gotta run to the bathroom, guys. Like, TMI, but like, I sprinted there. I was so nauseous, and I was just so sick. I was texting Chase. He was driving the golf cart. I'm like, please go faster. He wasn't looking at his phone. He's like, why are you texting me? I'm sitting right next to you. And I'm like, I'm trying to play it off. Like, okay. I was dying. I don't wish that pain upon my enemy. Like, I thought we were going down and my ashes were going to be sent back from Puerto Rico. But then we got some Pepto-Bismol. We got some meds.
I can only imagine what that hotel bathroom smelled like. I don't know.
It was so bad. I was in so much pain.
TMI.
Yeah. Anyways, don't eat lettuce. Wash your lettuce, guys. It was the lettuce. It wasn't the Moscow Mule.
And then this is the craziest thing. So after that, we decided to go to the casino. And I was winning big at the casino to the point where I was winning so much that after she blew her money, she started taking my money. I was blowing my money.
Yeah, I lost $100.
Of my money.
And mine. Because I played my 100.
You have a problem.
Oh, no, it was only 60.
She has a gambling problem. 60. You hear that? She said, I lost your 100 and then my 100.
Well, no, it was only 60. I remember I didn't withdraw 100.
There was a lady 60. There that was trying to tell me how to play. And I was
my gosh, this lady was screaming.
And I was sitting there
calling you a bitch.
Yeah, I was like looking, I was like, I know she's not talking to me. Like she's talking to you. She's talking to you right in front of her. And then her mom comes and she goes, don't tell him what to do because he's going to do everything opposite of what I started. Like, I was talking in every language they didn't understand. Like, I don't know what they were speaking, but I was like, okay, you want to talk English? I'm going to talk Spanish. You want to talk Spanish? I'm going to talk Hebrew.
Greek Latin.
I'm going to speak Greek Latin. I'm going to speak every language that, like, I'm going to make up a language.
Yeah, it was an interesting little trip. I feel like we've had so many, like, memorable things
happen.
And
I went to Art Basel in Miami.
Oh, yeah. How was that? Do you want to talk about my...
It was all right. Like, it's just like the thing with the Art Basel is like it's a battle of egos and clouts there. Like
how much money can you spend?
Yeah, like every influencer, every famous person there, like, oh, I can buy a bigger boat. I can buy a bigger table. I can buy like listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
I can fly more girls out than you can.
Right. Like, listen, I got like 15 girls here. They're all from my unruly marketing agency management. I don't have to pay for no girls. They're all 10s. I'm at the same table basically with you guys and Liv.
You're not paying a cent.
I'm not paying a dime because it's all sponsored by Patron. You guys are like fighting for your lives to get into like this flex party or nylon party that was with Tyga and Lil Wayne and this and that. I'm with them. They're in our group. I'm not paying for anything. I'm taking secret entrances. And you guys are all sitting there battling it out for who can spend money. I heard a guy walk out of Live and be like, it's a bad look for me to stand outside of Live. Like, bro, I don't even know who you are.
That's why I don't put myself in
Do you
those
think that
situations.
anybody really cares? Like, I'm a regular dude. Like, I'm gonna go sit right outside of there. I'm gonna say hi to everybody that walks by and this and that. Like, I personally don't care. Like, you guys have like egos out the ass. Like, out the ass.
Don't trust someone who thinks that they have to flex money like
If
that.
you have to flex your money, you're actually broke.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in a club to get some sort of validation for someone who doesn't even care about you, like, let's be honest, those girls are only talking to you because you have a good, like,
they
seat in the
don't want to
club.
work.
They're getting free alcohol.
They don't see themselves giving you an iced caramel macchiato in the morning. They see themselves waking up in Bali. Like, come on, bro, tighten up.
You're not going to meet the love of your life in the club. Save that money. Go on a trip with one of your friends. Like, let's be real here.
Save your money. Take a trip.
Don't spend racks at the club.
Like, if you guys honestly want some like honest like dating advice, and I'll say it to the T. Like, I'm gonna give you some Dale advice. Go to a hair salon, get your hair done. You will probably meet a pretty girl there. Listen, go to Whole Foods, go to Target, bro. Like, literally, just go to the candle section in Target. They're everywhere. Like, they're buy one get one. Like, if you're really lucky, dude. Like, you don't gotta go to the club and buy them shots of Patron because they're probably not gonna remember you. It probably happens all the time. You're gonna spend way too much. Like, go to Target, buy a candle, ask the girl, do you like the smell of this candle? It's going to lead into like a 40-minute conversation. And look, dude, they're going to remember that because then they're going to go home and tell whoever they live with, probably her roommates, yeah, I met this guy at Target and he had this vanilla scented chai candle. And I told him he should go for more of the vanilla bean because of this. And you got a whole backstory. Exactly. And look, bro, listen, she's going to reach out to you on Instagram in like 2 weeks and be like, so did you enjoy that candle? And in your head, you're like, bro, I haven't even taken the candle out of the car yet.
Exactly. But here's another word of advice for all the guys still thinking, oh, I still need to spend so much money on her to get her to like remember me or whatever. I don't think I've ever remembered anyone who's ever bought me a drink anywhere.
Ever. Unless you did something really embarrassing and it was cringe.
No, exactly. Like, I don't have any memorable times at any club.
Didn't you say you met Luke at a party though? Shit, there were 5 parties, my bad.
Yeah.
A prime example right there. Dated the guy and now
we lived in the same apartment building.
She left him when she went to New York. That wasn't even Miami. Imagine if your girl goes to Miami. It's really over with.
Maybe I'll go to Miami and meet someone with a boat. You know the TikTok? Can I get a sugar daddy with a boat? No,
I'm looking for a sugar daddy with a boat.
That's it.
Yikes.
That's the one.
Yikes.
Oh, but no, we also have some funny stories too of things that have happened when we've been traveling. Do you remember what happened in Hawaii with a couple? Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, well, it's just like, you live life and you understand that, when you are in a relationship and you go to a bar, some people, are you talking about the swingers?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. If you're in a relationship and you go to a bar and you see like another couple of people that you're like, oh, they are good and you want to involve them in your relationship, they typically have this rule of thumb. They have like these pineapples with them. It's like a known thing that you had no idea
I didn't see a
about.
Pineapple.
Right. And so then they come over and they have these pineapples and they're having a great powwow and they're talking and they're doing this and that. And all of a sudden, you wonder why they're inviting you to come out later and do this and that. And like,
you were the one who was like, yeah, we'll meet up with you guys later.
Yeah, well, because it was fine. We met them
on a catamaran.
It was fine until I realized what they were doing with the pineapple. We went with the catamaran. Like, you meet them on the catamaran during the day. They're like, yeah, you guys come dinner with us. It's fine. And then you see the pineapples at night and they're like, okay.
I didn't see any pineapples.
Regardless, at that point, I was specifically like, hey, these guys are swingers. They're trying to do this and that. Like, we ain't doing none of that, right? Don't do anything for them. I walk to the bathroom for like 5 minutes. I come back and she goes, you should try this girl's drink. She just gave me some. I was like, I don't want any of that drink. Like, why are you drinking after these people that you've never met? Then like 5 minutes later, you were just
there was something in the drink.
Like blitz. There, you definitely put something in the drink. And
but I was sitting there and I was watching the bartender. And it was like a high.
You don't think that these people are seasoned enough to figure out how to like do it without you seeing? Like, they could literally just have it like right here, like pitch it in their screen, and grab the drink and they handed.
I have learned from TikTok, eye drops are roofies.
Yeah, eye drops.
I didn't know that was a thing. Girls have been getting like roofied with eye drops.
Yeah, like
that's terrifying.
There's a lot of different ways that you can finesse it. And like these are common things that happen around the world when you travel. So you guys got to be more self-aware. Like, you should never be drinking after anybody. You should never be by yourself with somebody that you had just met. You should always have like what I do, I always say, like, whether I do or don't have like these backup plans to do after I'm done. Like, say, like they want to meet at 6. Oh, that's perfect. I actually have plans with my best friend at 8:30, and if I'm not there, then they're gonna hate me. That gives you 2.5 hours. And if you're having a great time, you hit that like hour and a half, 2 hour mark. You could be like, oh, they just canceled plans. You could go on the rest of your night, but always have like a backup plan to get out of there.
No, it's smart.
Yeah, it's real advice. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, even though you don't even know what movie that comes from. But it's a
sunshine, lollipops. You know that song? That's what it comes from. What else does it come from?
Go to your next segment. Transition us, please.
Well, we have the In the DM segment now, guys. And I know you guys love it. We have some interesting stories from some of our viewers.
Welcome to In the DMs by gabmoses.
I know, this is my favorite part ever. Okay, so we had a girl write in about one of her dates, and she said, should I go on the second date? She said that she went out on this date after meeting this guy on Hinge, and all the flags were green. But then...
Except meeting him on a dating app.
You can... I've heard of stories of people getting married to people that meet on
more so horror stories than positive ones.
Anyways, everything is good. But all of a sudden, he abruptly leaves the date after getting a phone call from a girl. But he texted her after he got home and was like, hey, I had a great time. So sorry this happened. But, like, can we please hang out again? Was it his ex? We don't know. Could have been his mom. Could have been his roommate. Who knows? She wants to know, should she still go on a second date?
So she went on a date with him, had a great time. It was a green flag. He got a phone call from a girl.
From a girl. She could hear a girl's voice.
And she's not going to go on a date because of this phone call. I was like, that girl has a lot of insecurity issues. If I was the guy and I was hearing this, I'd get rid of that girl. She's very insecure, because if a girl calls you and you just met this girl for the first time and she's already tripping and negotiating a date or not, imagine if you have an extensive relationship with this girl and you have girlfriends. They're not going to be your friends anymore. She's going to get rid of them. This girl is controlling. She's crazy. She's going to try to move in with you and live with you for 2 years rent-free. And it's going to be happily ever after. And she's going to steal your studios and start live streaming and drive your car and post your dogs. And you're not getting anything out of it. Not even cheeks. Like, so enjoy that.
Okay, anyways, next one.
Personal note.
Okay, next one. This is a guy writing in, and he says, I have nothing against social media or anything like that, but my girlfriend keeps posting very provocative photos of herself, and it makes me feel like she's posting for another guy to see. Do I do anything about it, or do I just ignore it?
It kind of just goes back to the first thing. I think that that's a big insecurity thing. Like, for me, like, post whatever you want to post. You should let her post whatever she wants to post. But you should also have like a standard of knowing, like, hey, if I was looking for this is where I would go, you know? If she respects you, she'll navigate away from it. If not, then you navigate away from it. I think.
Would you let your girlfriend post like that?
It depends on what she's posting. I think that it goes back to when I say, like, when you initially meet somebody and you start dating them, you sign up for a certain version of them. And if that, typically that's always not the case of what you get. I would say most of the time, what you initially meet of somebody is not typically how they are anyways. But after you have had this facade for a year, if it becomes a night and day different, I definitely think you should reevaluate the situation, because you find out who the person truly is and you find out if you can really move in a direction with that person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I only had those two for today because I'm really getting hungry. It's been a really long day.
It's been a long day. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for tuning to the #1 podcast in the world. I'm your host, Chase Lamore.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.